neighborhood, an icy day in the neighborhood. Hope you can't see my lunch because I am eating at the same time. Because I had meetings this morning, and now I'm here. And I spent a lot of time reading the morning news today. Today I'm going to be talking about a little bit about community organizations in our community and some of the problems that I am very concerned about when we talk about community organizations to benefit our community. I'll give you some history for those of you youngins who don't know about certain organizations that were in our community that are gone. Because we just can't seem sometime to understand the power of working together. And sometimes we get in our own way, and folks, and then we blame government, and we blame, no, I ain't talking about government today. I'm not talking about government, so if you call and you can go ahead and walk in front of it as part of our vibe here. So if you want to blame government today, miss me and pass me with that, because I'm talking about what we do in our own community to ruin our own not-for-profits, our own. Now, some of the groups, I'm not going to name by name because I ain't spreading our dirty laundry, but some of it's in the paper today. Another organization I'm concerned about, I got a text with audio that I'm like, what the heck is going on? You want to talk about gentrification, and gentrification is not bad, by the way. It is the results of gentrification if gentrification is not done right, because gentrification is bringing up a area to bringing up the standards in an area. It is when that area is brought up and poor people cannot afford to stay. That's the negative part of gentrification, one of the negatives. I ain't talking about that today because you worried about gentrification. Guess what? You're about to hand people just what they want. Mm-hmm. And that's your land. Yep. As you say, and as everybody say, that God ain't making no more land.
Sure ain't.
He making more people. He making more animals. He's not making any more land. I wasn't in this studio when I said it. I was next door in the subway when I used to broadcast from the subway on Saturday. And I said before anybody was looking at the fruit belt, I said it, go buy in the fruit belt. I bought a lot in the fruit belt for auction for $500 on High Street. I said it and I did it. People ain't do it. Some people didn't. I said, if you got a business, a store, stay open. Now, economics of it is other people came in, I ain't got no problem with them either because it's business. And then the lies started going. They ain't paying no taxes. I have said on this show over and over, please show me the reg where they don't pay taxes. Now, do some of them have a little scheme going on? I believe I'm not federal government, so I don't know who flying in and out of the country. But I'm going to tell you this. While we worried about somebody else, we better be worried about us. Mm-hmm. And I'm not ashamed to say that black people have every reason and every right to elevate, because the only people in this country, besides those who were here before any of us came here, that deserve their peace is us. Everybody else who came here, they came here looking for a new life. We came here by force so that they could enjoy their new life. Yep. So I'm not holding back. Years ago, we had something called St. Augustine Center. St. Augustine was a wonderful organization that did many, many great things. It went under. There was fighting. There was allegations of financial abuse. And that table that I have in my office, that big wooden table,
Wow.
I bought from the auction of St. Augustine's.
Wow.
Now, I went in there and nobody bid on it, so I got it for $80 because nobody wanted to move it.
Wow.
I always keep me a little crew around. So, table that was worth probably then about $500, $600, $700.
And that's quality wood too.
Oh, it's real wood.
Yeah.
It's real. We done scratched it and banged it up. Kids and crawled on it, and it's still strong. It's heavy. I wish our organizations were that heavy. So I'm St. Augustine. There's so many organizations that we had. And somebody like Eva Doyle, Mother Queen Eva Doyle could tell you. Somebody like Betty Jean Grant could tell you. Somebody like Cliff Bell could tell you. Everything from the Build organization. I just put up, and if you have never gone on Facebook to Doug Ruffin's page, he's putting out all this content of back in the day. And yesterday he put up, I put up, and I'm gonna post everything he puts up, and I'm encouraging people to share because you need to know when people talk about we need Jefferson back like it was. Do you? You better do your homework because Jefferson Avenue was not black folks. Northampton had a store that wasn't black folks. Jefferson Avenue was a main thoroughfare to get to downtown. We didn't own on Jefferson Avenue by and large. We had some, but we ain't owned like that. No, because that's how everybody went to downtown. When the 33 was put in, they abandoned Jefferson Avenue. So I don't think you want it to be what it was. You want it to be what it should be.
Absolutely.
And with every other ethnicity, including the Fruit Belt, when Germans were there, they were not ashamed to say, we taking care of our communities. We gonna have our organizations. You go over to South Buffalo. The Italians are not the
Irish.
The Irish are, and the Italian, but the Irish are not ashamed to say we're Irish, and we're proud of it. And the one thing you don't see, and I ain't saying they don't have internal problems, but let me say it again: internal problems.
Yeah, it sure don't leave South Buffalo.
It's not in the Irish press. If they have an article, an organ, what's called an organ, a paper or something, you don't see that. Go over to North Buffalo, where the Italians bought the. They didn't have to be ashamed to say I'm Italian and I'm proud. I'm not ashamed to say I'm black and I'm proud.
Right.
And I'm sure the Italians have problems. You don't see it in their organ. You don't see it. You don't see one Italian writing an article against another Italian. You don't see it. You know what they got in their stuff? Their businesses, their opportunities, some where they raised money together. You don't see it. I don't know whether, because I can't read the language, but I don't know if the Bangladesh or anything have something as far as like a newspaper or. I promise you, if you get it, I ain't saying never, but I'm gonna say every week you not reading an article about somebody else. This person did this, and this person is sellout, and this person, nah, and I'm telling you, and I'm gonna say it again, they're coming. And when they come, whoever runs, you ain't gonna be in this cycle. I'm telling you, they already talking. They're all going to vote for one person, and then they're going to support one person through the process. And even if they don't agree with them, they're going to support. And then you know what some people who just want to fight going to say? They ain't let nobody get crap. They learned how to work together, and they learned how to work together because many of them came from countries where they did not have the freedom to do what they can do here. I had somebody call me complain about a new American and the fact that they was growing vegetables in their front yard. You know what I said? It's not against the red. Because they could be selling on the front porch.
They could be selling. The grass could be 6 feet tall. They could.
So I ain't mad, and but this conversation is about us's. Today's Buffalo News is public. The only reason I'm mentioning it, I would not be mentioning this if it was not public. Fruitbelt Land Trust, and all of which I had so when India came to me about Fruitbelt Land Trust, I didn't even know what a land trust was. And I remember we were over on High Street,
The Moot Center.
Moot Center, and we were over on the side. Before she did it publicly, she asked me privately. She's like, so, India, council member, will you support the land trust? I was like, I don't know what a land trust is, India. Then she explained a little, and I said, if it's going to benefit people to stay in the fruit belt, I got it. Still don't know. And then the Hills came to the office, educated me further, and I jumped right in. Went to the administration. Said I support. So for those of you who don't know what a land trust is, basically, real basic. An organization owns the land in an area and keeps that land affordable. So that basically, when the house is built, you have to be in a certain income bracket, and you can't sell that house to make money. That house always, or I'm not going to say to make money, you can't sell that house outside of that bracket, so that for 99 years, the land remains with the land trust. 99 years, ain't none of us going to be here. None of us going to be here. Except Duncan. You going to be here? I don't want to be here.
I'm hoping.
I'm
going for 130, 140.
Oh, yeah, not me. No.
Yeah, no.
See, because by the time, I heard a comedian say this, by the time you get to like 90, 100, I want maybe 100, but after that, you need help, and I don't want to be no burden on my kids.
But with the advances in science and technology,
You going for 130?
I mean,
You go for it. You go for it. I ain't got no, yeah, I'll go for whatever.
when I get to heaven, I'll tell you about it.
Because we're going to have a time. What a time. So, basically, that's how that works. So I supported it. It became even a campaign issue with one side saying land trust ain't do nothing, other side saying, yes, we are. Yes, we have. Look at, and they got money. They got a lot of money to buy land, build houses, and they're in the paper today. We got a letter from a constituent that there was a problem. Did not know the extent of it because it's not, hear me, run by the government. They come to the government sometime for land. They might come for incentives. But it's all in the paper. So they want one group. So it's in the paper, so I can say it. Ms. Gitney, who's been on, they voted off. I don't know the end, and I'm not. Let me say this. I'm here to talk about us learning how to get along and to fix our stuff. Sometimes you got to do some real internal work. And because you don't get your way, it doesn't mean that the whole thing has to go under. That's organization. That's the American way. We don't have to agree. I don't agree with everything my council colleagues do or say, but the one thing is you get in a room and you figure it out of what's best for the people. That's one of the greatest things that I think that I love that I was able to bring to the council. Is to say, we can be out here fighting all day. When we wanted an emergency manager, and the administration, the mayor's office wanted a fleet manager, I worked hard to get them both.
Right.
Because if the mayor's office says, we don't need this, and then we say we don't need that, then the next storm comes,
we don't have either.
and we don't have either because we have learned the art of fighting rather than the art of progress, rather than the art of working together. I talked to a brother today, and every day I'm talking to another brother, another sister who wants to do something in this town. And I keep saying to people, don't always think you got to do things by yourself if you want to do it at a big level. You want to be a construction worker but don't have a pickup truck. Okay, so get with somebody who got a pickup truck. You want to be a developer, but you ain't developed the grass in front of your house. Then get with somebody. I want us to start dreaming so big and accomplishing big, and that type of level, you have to learn how to work together. And we have been taught how to bicker. We have been taught how to complain. We have been taught how to be suspicious. If somebody says, and I don't know the ins and outs, and I'm not taking a side because I don't know. I am taking the side of our people we have to do better. If you want an organization, according to the Buffalo News article, that when the executive director, a new executive director was brought into the land trust, Fruit Belt Land Trust, the old executive director was questioned about finances. Okay, every right to question about finances. Why was this done? Why was that done? Why was this done? Okay, if I'm coming into an organization and I feel like something might not be right, I'm going to ask, right?
Yes.
Allegedly, everybody started quitting. And then allegedly, from the article, others came in, got the board members together, and start voting out board members who had been there. I don't know if it's true. I don't want to hear nobody saying that ain't what happened. I'm going from the paper. If it ain't what happened, everybody else put it out there. Here is my only reason for dealing with this. We lose good organizations. If the land trust goes under, now you talk, then again, it'll be blaming the government. You got the vehicle right there. You have a vehicle, the first functioning land trust in the history of the city of Buffalo, that will go down like the Titanic. And do you know what will happen if that land trust does not thrive? That means, let me give you knowledge, the Fruit Belt, all of the city land that I've held up, that now we got a new real estate agent. Now I got to trying to get that land open. I'm trying to get this land sold. We've already made deals with everybody who had land next to their houses, sold it to them at a reduced rate, got them their houses so that they got backyard space. Now everybody else, all the other city land, if there is not a land trust in the Fruit Belt, developers will be able to come along and put all market rate housing. It ain't nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Because at the end of the day, I mean, City Hall would have some yes, no, and hopefully whoever comes after me will make sure that that land, because as long as I'm here, I am not selling the Fruit Belt to the highest bidder. Because half of the people who live there will not be able to afford to stay there. Because the people who own property who are renting it are going to go sky high on the rent, and it's going to clear out. It's going to clear out all of the people who stayed there when time. The only people going to be able to stay, thank God, be McCarley Gardens and St. John Towers.
Yep.
And that's because it's under HUD, and they cannot sell that. Because I don't know, the people who really run St. John Tower right now, they don't live in Buffalo. So if they could get them a pretty penny, baby, let me tell you something. Their cousins don't live around the corner.
Right.
They don't even live. It takes you 8 hours to drive to where they're at. You think they care? I doubt it. Nope. Allegedly. I got to keep saying that. So,
and be on to the next project.
Folks. And then we got another organization. It's not public. It was public in the Challenger a year or so ago when their executive director wrote.
Yes. Yep.
Our arts are so important. We already don't have enough black art, black artists, and I'm getting board members calling me. They're fighting. They're recording. We got to get it together. Let me let you guys talk for a minute. I'm going to eat a little Kim Kitchen. I don't care.
Listen, everybody know I love me some Kim's Kitchen, so don't get it twisted.
Because I went to Brothers this week, too.
Yeah, that's fine.
I went to Brothers. Got me some food at Brothers. It was good, too. Go ahead.
So I think you're absolutely spot on because, like you said, we already don't have a lot of these spaces. And then so what ends up happening is the space is shut down. And then, like you said, then the attitude turns to government. Why didn't you do anything about it? And when they got their own boards, they got their own funding streams, they have their own everything, and then you blame government. And even when government does get involved, then it's like, why are you in our business? So it's that damn if you do, damn if you don't. So the only thing is, how do we continue to strengthen each other, build each other up? Everyone has hiccups. Like you said, every organization has hiccups. Matter of fact, on another note, but about the same thing, Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz told me a story last night about the 1912 election. And he was saying, Democrats all across the country were feuding, and especially here in New York, about Woodrow Wilson and Theodore Roosevelt on the ballot. And they were like, oh, they're going to split the vote. Nobody's going to win, and a Republican is going to take New York State. And apparently someone they planned Woodrow Wilson to come to Buffalo to do a speech on Labor Day. That was the market. Really what they did is they went to Hotel Lafayette and brought everybody together and said, if we do it this way, Democrats will win New York. And that was the first time Democrats won New York.
Wow.
So, like you said, there's a system of working together. Like, we don't have to feud publicly, even if we're feuding privately.
Absolutely. I mean, Duncan, I know you're young, but I mean, you've seen organizations recently even kind of going down. And what's your thought?
I think we have a challenge here. So first, I think it's a great topic that you guys have put on. I think in Buffalo, one of our challenges is we take a lot of stuff personally. So, if you're, in an organization.
That's good.
And somebody, because we identify with our role. So if I'm the executive director, and I'm not talking about none of the stuff in the news.
Right. We're just talking about Jim.
I'm learning about it just now, even though Brandy Barrett is my cousin. So,
Well, she's in the article.
Yeah, well, whatever's going on with Brandy, she an integral person.
Say,
that out
look,
there.
Duncan, like, hold on now. That's my
I'm
blood.
saying, she got a lot of integrity. So I don't know nothing, no details. But Brandy is a stand-up person. But
and she's in the middle of her own project.
Yes.
So if I'm the executive director of an organization and Mark comes in and joins my organization, Mark's a rock star, and Mark questions one of my choices or something I do or anything, right? If I identify who I am, I tie my value as a person to being the executive director. I don't take Mark's criticism as feedback on how to make the organization better. I take it as a personal attack.
Got it. Yep.
And so we do that a lot here. And I see that a lot with the school board. Me and Sam, we always try to make a difference and help parents. But several board members, they take any type of criticism or feedback as if we're personally attacking them. And that kind of energy, we see that all the time, but it's not personal. But when we tie in our value to titles or roles, then oftentimes we feel emotionally injured when people, so that's why a lot of our business gets out there. Because now when I'm emotionally injured, I react different. See, if this is just my role here, but then tomorrow we can have drinks and then later we can debate and then whatever, that's different. But if I'm emotionally injured, I can't just pull you to the side and say, hey, how do we work this out? Or we just have different votes and then we just say our piece. And then when we walk out the meeting, we good. They used to have a part in the agenda called For the Good of the Order. And it was the last thing before you adjourn the meeting. So you have the whole agenda, the vote.
I never heard of that.
For the good, it's called For the Good of the Order. And that means it's like now you can say anything. So Pastor Pridgeon, when you said this, that I really thought that was some BS.
No, that wouldn't work around here.
But the rule is, and For the Good of the Order, you say it, you get it out there, everybody says their piece, but then you got to agree that, you know what, we said, because a lot of times if you don't say it, it simmers, explodes. And
then it's a blow up.
For the good of the order would be to blow up, and then in this town they would run out and take everything you said for the good of the order. And I want to say this: I totally agree with your statement. Let me read some. I'm going to try to get some of these folks because I got folks, and Doug Ruffin is on. Now, what's big about that is this man had no idea I was going to talk about him today.
Right.
But I'm pushing his stuff on my platforms that God has allowed me to be on so that he advances and our people advance. That's what I'm talking about. But what Duncan just said about taking it personal, totally correct. And I'm going to be transparent, and some folk ain't going to like this. One of the really difficult decisions of me leaving, not running again for Ellicott, was because I worked hard to bridge the gaps between grassroots, unity, and the party. And I talked to all of them. And every one of those organizations supported me. Not always, but what Duncan just said. When Unity wasn't rocking with Pridgeon. I did not take that personal. There were things there that had nothing to do with Pridgeon.
Right.
Nothing. So Unity supported somebody else during Ellicott when I ran. Okay. They had every right to.
Absolutely.
I ain't hold that. But when I ran and they said, you know what? We got you. They had me. Grassroots had me. Because grassroots, I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't birthed through grassroots. Grassroots had a great deal of help in me doing what I did. But I never wanted to be, never wanted to be the person that fight just to fight.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make, let's fight on an issue. And we may differ politically. But what when I had to make the decision, one of the hardest decisions was I don't want to see us go back to a place of us fighting against us.
But I think you left a mark. Like, I think you created the environment where, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna last forever, but at least in the near future, it's not the type of combative space with people like whoever's new is gonna walk into like it was before you got there.
Yeah.
So you change the environment. So now even when people come in, they coming into, it's like a kid. You can take a kid that has lots of behavior issues, you put them in a school where the environment is different, they act different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what, Duncan, and Mark knows this, and you know I fight for issues. I don't fight people.
No.
I don't want to fight people. And you're right about the emotion. If you're not thick-skinned enough to know, some people don't know how to handle topics. Now, I've sat on that floor and been called all kinds of names in the last year over redistricting. We talking about redistricting. Why you got to make it personal and cuss me and say things about me? Did I go up in the room and cry? No, because at the end of the day, I get to make a decision, and so do 8 other persons. I ain't taking personal. That's what the people who were in that room wanted. That ain't what I heard from the people at Ellicott. So let me be clear. If the people at Ellicott said, Darius, we hate this, and we da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, that's who I'm responsible. That's who elected me. But I didn't leave out and then run to the paper. Now, let me get, if y'all want me to get ghetto and get real, because I could have ran to the paper and said some things about some people that were in that room. We could really tell the story of some of the people who talking about they down for Buffalo who don't even live in daggone Buffalo. We can get for real.
Absolutely.
But I don't do it because at the end of the day, I'm not sure if fighting just to be fighting. No, I'm not. I am sure. I am sure that fighting just to be fighting does not bring the best results. And we have lost everything from other artistic theaters. Gone. The ones we have now sometimes barely hold on. So if now we're going to infight and it's about who's the executive director and who's the president of the board, you shouldn't have a president of a board who cannot bring people together.
Sure can't.
You cannot. I remember when I was doing my master's, I hate teams. I hate teams because I'm the only child. I'd rather, if you say paint this room and I give you 3 people, in my head I'd be like, just give me the paintbrush. And just give me an extra week.
I thought you were
paint.
talking about Microsoft Teams at first. I was about to say,
I hate that too. It keeps coming up on my thing, and I'm like, I want to just delete it. When people ask me to get on Microsoft Teams, I do like, sometimes I don't get them because it's. But I'm not the team person. But I had to learn that if you're gonna get big stuff done, you need a team, baby. You need a team, and the team should not be your rubber stamp. I say this, and I give credit to God the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. I've been pastoring 28 years. I have deacons and I have trustees that I literally answer to. People might not believe this. By law, a church has to have trustees. By law, they're supposed, if you get in a tax exempt, they're supposed to rotate every so often. It doesn't say deacons, but the trustees. I literally answer to them. 28 years. We get in that room. We don't always agree. But I tell you what, when we get done, and we walk out, we have agreed that whatever decisions we made, we all in.
Yep.
Now, every once in a while, you get astray, and it's okay. It's okay. As long as you, my mother asked me this one time when I was in the military, and I was crying about something, boo-hooing that what they did, and I ended up getting it turned around, and I'm still, and she said, I got a question. Did you get what you wanted?
$1 million question.
And I was like, yeah. She said, so why are you still talking about it? And that has stuck with me forever. When a vote is done, the vote is done. And now you can, but what makes a mess is when you get a few people who don't agree, and then they want to go get other people, and then the people who were there all the way through the process are going, what? And this is how we tear up our own organizations. Let me go to Facebook. Marie Collins says, oh, that's a compliment to me, but I ain't gonna read that. But thanks, Marie. I appreciate that, sweetie. Jason's, maybe I should put on my glasses.
Maybe.
You think that'll help?
Maybe.
Because I'm squinting.
Because I was getting ready to say, I can't do it without my glasses.
Yeah, Jason says, you need a team, exclamation point. Marie, preach. Tim Collins, preach. Tim Newkirk, preach. Jason, this is the same way in the Christian community, sadly. I agree in some areas. And I'm going to say, I'll come back around to that, Jason. Not all of them. Because some of them thriving because they learn how to work together in business.
Yep.
Y'all want me to teach and preach. Because some of y'all take a long drive to go to church. And I'm not talking about Zion Dominion.
Can I just add one thing, Pastor?
Go ahead.
One thing that was so great, I'm so blessed, I was blessed by, was Damone. When I first started, when I was back in Buffalo, he's my frat brother. He said, Duncan, whatever you advocate for issues, not against people. And because of that, I have been so fortunate that even when I ran for office, I could write a book on the Buffalo politics, what I went through. You know what I'm saying? You know some of the stuff.
Yes.
I mean, so much stuff, deals, backdoor deals people tried to make or did with all type of stuff. But because I didn't take that personal, because I didn't air it out, now I can still come around and work with these people. I had lunch with April like a month and a half ago. Me and April had lunch at Northland.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just to talk. So it's like, everything doesn't have to be personal. Like at the time, I was hot. Some of the stuff that was happening, the endorsement process, everything. I was so angry, but it was like, you know what? Just keep focused, Duncan. Keep moving forward. And I actually turned out better, 50 times better than if I would have won, because God got a plan. And it's like, I tell people, losing that election in April is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. You know what I mean? Like, I thank God, like, oh, thank you for that loss,
well,
God.
I'll always say that.
But I could have dogged her. I could have stayed every
could
week.
Still be doing it.
Every week I could be, she ain't doing this.
Think about this. Think about this. You're very articulate, and you are intelligent, so you could make up an issue every week, stay bitter, stay mad, dogging her out. And what is it going to do? No. She's still the elected one. Let me finish this thought about Zion Dominion for the members of Zion Dominion. I think I was talking about Zion Dominion. My point was when the guy said the churches, we have people who will leave the inner city to go to churches way out, right? To churches that are organized, to churches that are the cat's meow, they got money, so they got all the programming and all of that. You want to know why? Because it's the people, it's the whole atmosphere, it's the whole culture. Because that's how they are on their jobs. They're the bosses on their jobs. They own their own businesses. There isn't that jealousy that that happens sometime in the church. And I'm talking about the churches that look like me.
Yes, absolutely.
So we'll get up in the pulpit to talk about, not me, because I ain't never been this type, against another church or against another belief system because they don't believe exactly like us, so everybody over there going to hell.
I've lived that.
Oh, I remember Monique told me, I ain't going to say where, because they don't know. Anyway, she was basically told that we was going to hell over here, So,
my church said the same thing.
And why? Why? This is that's why I am a booster of anybody who wants to be boosted. You know how many pastors I meet with.
Absolutely.
When a pastor called me, I got 2 priority calls. Three. If you are a senior, I'm calling you back. Don't you worry, because seniors got nothing but time on their hands, and they deserve to get a call back rapidly. If you are a pastor, I'm calling them back because a lot of times pastors in my growing up didn't talk to pastors unless y'all was all hang out together. And the media, because I want to make sure stories get out correctly. By the way, don't let me forget, I got to Zoom with a channel at 1.
Okay.
So when a pastor calls me and says, Pridge, how did you do this? Pridge, I'm thinking about doing this. I tell him my way, and I'm like, but you got to do it your way. Because everything that I've done is usually not the way somebody else has done. So I'm that encouragement. I don't believe in tearing down. You ain't going to hear me. You're not going to hear me publicly tear down another church. You're not going to. If I go to a restaurant, and I remember I was doing little restaurant reviews sometime, and this woman came up to me, attorney, thinks she was so connected. I would, if I was you, I'd be careful about doing that because you could get into hot water doing it. I said, I know what I'm doing. Because if I go to a restaurant and I don't get the best service, I ain't saying nothing about it. Let me tell you why. If I'm not going to do that everywhere I go,
Right.
I am not dogging out somebody who looks like me because it's more of a struggle for them to stay in the business. If I can't say something good, if I got 5 dishes and 2 of them ain't hitting, if that macaroni and cheese ain't hitting,
I'm gonna talk about the
dairy,
greens.
I'm going to talk about the greens. I'm not going to be like, well, this macaroni wasn't this. Because do I do that when I go to Walgreens, when I go to Walmart? Do I do that when I go get a car? No. But to get clicks and likes, you dog what looks like you. You dog what looks like you, and because people are familiar with people that you're talking to, you ain't talking about some European out there that did such. No, because ain't nobody gonna click and like because they don't know them. So what do? I dog out the people who other people know, so that then, because I think about how many times I've heard something about my wealth, which ain't that wealthy. Let me tell you. Never have I ever once heard about the wealth of other folks who are I live in the city. You dog, why he got the big house? Well, so should I live in a 2-bedroom, 1.5 because you want me to? End of the day, this is what we got to really embrace and make those who want to make us look like nothing all of the time. They've got to be the anomaly. Mm-hmm. They've got to be the ones we speak up and say, like you just said about your cousin. I know her to be a person of integrity. Now, I don't know what's going on in land trust. I'm telling you that. This wasn't a conversation. I use that because of what is in front of us.
Right.
I will say this. I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I would hope somebody would stand up for me like this. I don't know what's going on with the land trust. I know that Stephanie Simeon, in the 10 years or 11 years I've been dealing with her, dots every I and crosses every T.
Sure does.
And she's sought after because of what she does. I don't know. Look, disclaimer, this ain't about the land trust. I'm talking about what I know of her. Because, see, sometimes people won't stand up with you and say, hey, I don't know what happened here. I do know I've worked with this person for years.
Absolutely.
And that can be agitating, and you could feel like you're out there by yourself. Mm-hmm. So that board has every right to investigate, to look into it, and I hope they do. And I pray that there is nothing wrong. But we have got to call, can't use that word. We got to call cards what they are. Amber, I just won't return. Yeah, we're talking about like when you review something, just don't go back. And for me, I'll go back.
Yes, you will.
Because I'm the type.
You're going to give them a second and third chance.
Yeah, because I think that sometimes we get one bad thing from somebody who looks like us, and it's just like, I ain't doing that. And then tell somebody else. Me, I go and order something else. That's me. And you know why? Because I do it. If you go into Walmart right now and you end up with a bad customer service person, you still go back to Walmart. You might not go back. Now, there's certain Walmarts you might not go back to. You might be like, I ain't going to that one over there, right? But I still want that service. Now, of course, because we don't have as many, restaurants, that's specialized, and we need. I'm all for a black restaurant, a black run restaurant. I'm all for it, but because we don't have as many, then some people you would stop. You
It
look
depends
like
on what it is. If
Okay.
it's the food or something related to food, I'm coming back. I give them a second, third chance. It's all good. I can't take people being rude to me for no reason. I bring kindness and joy everywhere I go. So
Yeah.
if somebody is overtly rude, service is just like they just rude to me, like I did something to them.
Yeah.
I'm not subjecting myself to that again.
I
so.
agree with that.
Okay, but okay, good.
So-
This is
so,
good.
'cause
This
like
is
you
good.
said, even with the Walmart example, I will go to a different Walmart.
Yeah.
But like you said, and if I do go back to the same one, I will end up being like, oh, there goes that person. Let me get into a different lane. Let me do. So you're right. I probably will go back. And bad food, because I can think of some spots I haven't been back to since.
Yeah, but if blah, blah. If it was consistent bad, then that's a choice, right? So, because if you let's use the Walmart example. If you go to Walmart to buy fresh produce, and every time you get it home it's rotten, then you do start going, all right, I'm not going to get that from over here.
Right.
If I go to the reason I am a little more liberal with a African American owned, or I'll even say black and brown business, is because I know that usually for them it's more of a struggle, more of a struggle to get employees. Let's just be honest.
That's true.
More of a struggle. So now I got to take this employee because I can't get this employee because Salvatore's got this one because they can pay this and I can't pay that, right? So it's all of these things and I know I'm a living witness. I know because I've been an employer for many, many years now. And at the end of the day, I try to, if I get one bad waitress in a black establishment, I don't know how we got there. Yeah, but we talking about black folks and building our own community. I have learned to complain to the right people.
Oh yeah.
So I might call the owner and say, hey, I'm just letting you know this ain't a good look. I remember one lady, I went, and it wasn't even a black establishment. It was a hot dog joint. And what was going on in there with the employees was just like, yo, and the girl was so nasty. And I'm like, you want to talk? I'm like, you all right? This is the truth. She ended up coming outside boo-hoo crying, telling me what she was going through. So I ain't dogged the whole establishment.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to us, we got to get out of our own way, whether that's a not-for-profit, whether that's a church, whether that is a for-profit. We have some of the most smart. For instance, everybody who I read about in that article, I was like, oh, yeah, they a hard worker. Mm-hmm. It's like all of these hard workers in that article.
Yep.
Everyone I've read about, I know. And even though they may be on different sides of an issue, all I could think about, if all of those smart people work together, man, they'd be buying up land in the Fruit Belt and building it should be more buildings that went up in the Fruit Belt. Mm-hmm. So when I leave, and you can say whatever you want to, but I'll say it for the record. Put everything in place for that to happen. Everything in place. And I'm still waiting. And that's not government to do it. Government, we're going to recognize the land trust. Yep. We're going to hold up the land from being sold to speculators who will come in from New York and just buy up the Fruit Belt. And then they going to tell us nope, put everything in place. But it's like when you walk in and your shoelace is untied and somebody keeps saying your shoelace untied. And then you keep walking. Then you go out here on this ice. Mm-hmm. And when you fall down, for the time that it's going to take for you to get up, somebody already done walked in front of you.
Yep.
And that's the real deal. Mm-hmm. Because the big developers who are coming into the city and into the Fruit Belt are not from Buffalo. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it loud and clear. They are not from Buffalo. One of the biggest projects being proposed right now, tain't from Buffalo. And I got to be careful because if I say something that may seem that we get sued. So I'm saying because it is the truth. I ain't saying I wouldn't vote for it. I'm letting people know we got to get out of our own way. And what's my favorite illustration? Above ground pool and in ground pool.
Yes, sir.
We got to stop settling for above ground pool money. It's okay to make enough money to put an in-ground pool in for your kid and not be a sellout. You ain't a sellout. You ain't a sellout. How many spots you got this year already booked, Duncan?
This year, like 32, 33.
32 spots. Let me tell you this. You could beat me in a race all day long if this is the result that I end up. Listen, beat my tail. 32. Now, somebody who does not understand that power of capacity, the reason I'm always boosting you, and Duncan, I got about three people who text me regularly who ain't asking for nothing. Just here's a word of encouragement. Without something got to be wrong. Because usually people do this, like, oh, what they ain't heard now. Nope. I ain't, just, here's a word of encouragement. The reason I boost you is because you learned how to boost other people. And every contact you make, I make. Because now if I'm going to such and I'm, Duncan, you know anything about over here? Now I got every time you speak somewhere, I'm there. Because if I'm connected to you, I got wrong word, but plug.
Right.
Amber said, don't let them folks come and take over the fruit belt. Amber, I agree. But, you know, I can't stop them. I put the infrastructure, I open it up. We can't let them. We've got to be able to say to organizations, get out of your own way, get together, and make something happen. Just a little bit of love, just a little bit goes great distance. Yepper teach. Marie, about you and let's see.
While you read notes,
go ahead. Yeah,
can
good.
I just thank you for your donation for our Unleash Your Greatness? We're doing this conference for girls this year. Last year we did 50 black boys, end up with 37. Powerful. We took them on college tours, Northland tours. They going to a Bison's game, VIP next month. I mean, just amazing. But this year we're going to do 50 black girls. My wife, Carolyn, is going to lead the training with
Right.
Leah Angel Daniel. She's the founder of Fostering Greatness. And Tanika Mack. She's a firefighter and part-time soldier. And we just got a donation from National Grid, from Rich Products, of course, Pastor Pridgen's office, Buffalo Pal, Nakia Kemp.
We just gave a little
big time.
What Dr. Whitted used to call ice cream money.
Listen, it all helps because now the parents, they don't got to pay nothing. All they got to pay is $50 for their kids' T-shirts. They're going to get 2 books.
Yep.
And on a resilience dog tag. And that $50 cover all of that. Everything else. 3 nights overnight. All the trainers. We got people coming in. Food, everything. It's going to be amazing. So thank you for that support.
Thank you.
And if it's any mothers out there or fathers and you got a daughter that's age 15 to 18, text me 308-0506. We still got about 18 spots left for young women. It's going to be
good.
June 25th to the 28th. But listen, I'm talking to Mona's House tomorrow on Sunday. They said Mona's House said they take over programs.
Yeah.
They said they people when they find out about stuff, they come in to take over it. So I'm like, come on. So if you want to sign up, text me 308-0506.
So proud of that. So proud of everything you're doing. Murray just came in with come join us to learn about diversity in the Erie County Sheriff's Office. You will hear from a diverse group of people from the following divisions: professional standards, jail management, road patrol, community services, correctional health. February 24th, 4 to 5:45. Oh, that's today, 4 o'clock today. Frank Merriweather Library. And this is on behalf of John Garcia. He got a gun in a little uniform.
He do.
I shouldn't say little uniform like that. He got a gun in a little
Came
uniform.
in official.
Right. Well, I say now I would have. I ain't
know
against
you on
law
your way.
enforcement. I'd be all right.
your
But
way.
because when I was a cop, I was a good cop. I was a good law enforcement officer. People liked me. They really did. No matter what base I was in, I would get out of the car, I'd talk to people, and I don't know. I think you could have power and not be a jerk. You know? I got one question for you.
Okay.
And it's real short because I got to pay the bills. Oh, we didn't stop our halfway mark.
But I do got the ad, so you know.
Okay. He's going to run the ad at the end?
Yeah, and I got him too.
Oh, you got him too? Okay. What thing happened that turned you from being bitter to just going out and doing what you had to do?
You know, I had some time to think. I planned a family vacation with my wife and kids for 5 days after the election in 2019. So either I was going to win and it was a celebration trip, or I was going to lose and it was going to be a reflection type thing. So while I was there, you know, I'm on the boat with Carolyn and we just talking and I'm thinking just in the water. And it was just like, what's next? What's next? I didn't have no job. I had to quit Northland to run. So I didn't have no job. I didn't know what was next. And I was just like, I always wanted to write a book. And I was like, you know what? I ain't got nothing but time. So I said, so I just shifted my mission from, okay, I want to win this election, I want to help the community, to I want to finish this book. So I had a new mission to put my energy into, so it didn't just fester in ambiguity and gray. I had it towards something positive, so I powered through. And by the time I finished the book, the pandemic hit. Then people needed more resilience training, so schools started calling me. And it just started like rolling from there. Like God just like worked it out so beautifully that I was able to help so many people. But it was like just the moment of like, what's next? I'm thinking, I'm praying. And then me and Carolyn brainstorming all these ideas. And then finally I'm like, yo, I want to write a book. But I didn't know no author. So when I got back, I called Sam Raffer. I was like, Sam, I need a meeting. You know,
I got to pay the bills, but let me tell you how wild it is. Here you are. You lost the election. We're about to go into COVID. You talk about writing a book and it ain't got no job. And you talk about writing a book. That's just resilience. I love it. Hobson's the Dr. Dry Cleaner, 874 East Delavan. 874 East Delavan. You got to go over there. You have to go. I got so many clothes I got to take over right now because Rashawn ain't picking them up. I got like 3 weeks worth of clothes. 3 weeks worth of clothes for me is like a big hamper. Because I got to wear a new shirt every day and change it because it's white, so I don't get to, like this one, you know, you can't wear that one for half a day and hang it up. It's got to go to Hobson's, the Dr. Dry Cleaning, of course, in your hour of need. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, 3 locations to serve you in your hour of need. The number for Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home, 845-5545, 845-5545. I know people, I bring levity to some of these situations. Look, I'm telling you, he gonna make you look like you're still alive. You walk in there, you feeling for a heartbeat. You feeling for a heartbeat. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home. That's how hard he works. I know y'all can't take that.
Oh no, I'm fine with it. You know.
You gotta laugh in your hour of need. Do that. All right. Thank you to Brian and thank you to Ms. Hobson for keeping us on the air. Until next time, power to the people.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo. 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally, 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free, 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.